Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cobbles and Coals podcast. Speaking
Formerly.
to, formerly known as
Formerly.
Spin Cycle podcast. We've been away. We've changed our name. We've got some cool things. So I thought we'll talk about that this week. So first on the viewing order is obviously we've changed our name. We were away for a while. I think we were away over summer. And
2-3 months.
yeah, 2 or 3 months. I think that you and we both talked about that maybe we're looking for a bit of a refresh of the podcast. We've done it a year, right? Remember when I spoke to you last week about new brand and new name? It was actually a year to the date that we'd done the original Spin Cycle
ideas.
Yeah,
the abstract idea of a podcast.
One of the ideas. Do you remember one of the ideas Spin Cycle was doing in GTA Vice City? Photography. Just fucking smoking crack, man. Let's do it like Vice City. Anyway,
big ideas.
Big ideas.
We're in the big idea stage.
Big ideas.
No budget.
Budget. So look, I think I don't know about you, but I think for me it came down to a bit of a refresh. But also, I'm going to say this as well.
Big Cycling
Escape
Media.
Collective. Big Cycling Media got us. Escape Collective called their podcast Spin Cycle. And we had an argument in the DMs of Instagram, but maybe the reason why we wouldn't chase them through the courts is because the two of us have actually had a very busy personal life. And I think that was part of the reason as well. I think we both actually welcomed a bit of a brand change, right? We'd done it for a year. We'd figured out like who we wanted to speak with and how we wanted to do it and all this other kind of stuff. And I think that calling it Cobbles and Coals is actually now a bit of an iterative thing rather than, Spin Cycle. And I think even when we found Spin Cycle, even then we were kind of unsure about it.
It was more of a name of we just need a name to get this project started. It wasn't like if it stays forever, it stays forever. But I guess with this, it kind of made us actually reflect on what the podcast's about. And it came down to, Cobbles, Coals, and White Bibs. And you can't really call a podcast White Bib propaganda. Or podaganda.
No, because I think if we're calling it White Bib propaganda, we're going to get delisted on Google. So, But also, maybe whilst we've been away, we've both had we've actually had a really big summer. So what have you been up to this summer, NJ? Whilst people have not been listening to you?
I guess I've got engaged.
got engaged.
Would be, I guess, engaged is the first one. The second one is the house that we've been trying to buy a house for over a year. Mm-hmm. One house fell through because we pulled out, but we're in the sale basically for 10 months and nothing had changed. So it was getting to the stage of let's find one chain free. We found one chain free, and then we're about to.
Oh yeah, what happened?
We were about to sign all the contracts 2 days out, and then unfortunately, the lady who owned it died, so the house went to probate. She was already in her care home.
Right. Do you know what they always say? When you sell assets, distressed is best.
Yeah. But luckily, probate's only taken a month, and hopefully, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be moved into the new place. And we've already been to the kitchen shop and put deposit down on a new kitchen. So no new bikes coming in like at least 10 years.
So it's actually no change for you in buying bikes then. It's a once in a decade occurrence.
Yeah, just me looking at them, being like, oh, well, maybe I could finance this in a different way, and then when you're in your 30s, real adult stuff comes up. How about you? How's your summer been?
Busy summer. I got married again.
Ooh.
This time under the eyes of
our good Lord Jesus.
Jacob Lass, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Oh God, I don't know if I told you this, but obviously we had our daughter. She's 2.5, but we got married 6 weeks ago in Lyon, and the priest, I haven't told you, the priest said to us, "Oh, because it's good that Clarice and Cameron are now getting married in the church because they strayed away from us when they had their daughter, but now they're solidifying this union. We welcome them back."
Amazing. You got dissed by the
He
priest.
he was proper, mate, proper priest. Like, was praying before we went in. He was wearing a white habit the whole weekend.
Yeah.
He was doing it all. He wasn't doing it off the book. He just knew it. Had the beads. Yeah, but he did quite like the champagne. So shout out the priest from Paris that we put him up in a hotel as well. Anyway, so it got married in France and also moved house. So I've moved 100 meters over the road. I'm not going to dox myself because, we've quite a big listenership now. But people who knew where, obviously I live in Ripley, I've moved 100 meters over the road. So if you're still in the Surrey Hills, I still am there, and I can still see the cafe where people go for their coffees when they get here. So that's me, and yeah, all very exciting stuff. I think that's all I've really been up to. Yeah, the thing is, the house is so much, and I now have a big garden shed outside, so I actually have a bike permanently set up on Zwift. Does that mean I've used it?
No.
No, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. It needs to be easier than that. So
Needs to be in the house.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have said where it is, to be honest with you. Anyway, but yeah, that's what I've been up to. It's just we got married and we moved house in essentially same payday cycle. So yeah, that was a particularly challenge 4 weeks for us, but we're now settled. We're all in the house and we're all kind of ready to go, to be honest with you. There you go.
You're ready.
Should we probably head to a break and we can tell the good people what we've got coming up and have a chat about some other bits too? This podcast is brought to you by our friends at Rouleur Live. Rouleur Live, the world's greatest cycling show, is coming to the Truman Brewery in London for the 14th to the 16th of November. This is your chance to see cycling royalty live on stage. With legends like Tom Pidcock, Kasia Niewiadoma, Luke Rowe, and many more already confirmed, every talk alone is worth the ticket. Plus, you'll experience over 70 of the best cycling brands under one roof, showcasing incredible products, exclusive memorabilia, and one-of-a-kind items ridden by the legends of our sport. Rouleur Live is more than an event. It's a celebration of cycling culture. Brought to you by Rouleur Magazine, this is your chance to immerse yourself in the stories, products, and the people that make cycling extraordinary. Whether you're an old hand or a casual rider, you'll find something to enjoy in this fun, friendly atmosphere. Tickets are available at rouleur.cc/live. Don't miss out on the ultimate celebration of cycling. Link is in the show notes. NJ and I are going to be there on the 3 days, so if you fancy grabbing a pint, come and find us. Anyway, let's go back to the podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. So, Cam, we've been off for 2 months. In any of that time, were you allowed, have you done cycling? And 2, have you been allowed to cycle due to wedding?
So, I don't know if I said this on the last podcast. I had a medical thing over the summer, and a thing called costochondritis, which is the cartilage between your sternum and your rib cage becomes inflamed. Typically, it affects women over the age of 50, of which I am neither. So I had a couple of weeks off the bike. Then I was commuting. Then, I didn't ride. If I'm honest with you, this might have been the lowest amount of kilometers I've ever done in a year, and now I'm living in the Surrey Hills and I have quite a nice bike that finally works. So I've done no cycling. We didn't go to France this year for, obviously normally we go to my wife's parents' house in the Alps. Didn't do it this year. Considered taking the bike to the wedding to do, but it's also like
family, got to speak to people.
Yeah, but also, like, don't get me wrong, I've never fallen off my bike, but I also don't want to kind of eat shit the day before my wedding, and I haven't got 2 front teeth. Like it's just not it just didn't really work for me. So I didn't do a lot of cycling, if I'm honest with you. And also, maybe I slightly played myself here. So recently, I've only been buying long sleeve cycling jerseys.
Yeah. Oh, so you got no short sleeves?
Right. I've got a few, but I've got way more long sleeve. But even like, obviously, I wear Mac kit, right? So anybody, the Mac Pro long sleeve one, that kind of one's got semi see through arms, a little bit like golf ball. I wear that. Now, the Pro long sleeve. So I thought most of the time in the UK, you wear a long sleeve. It's about 6 weeks of the year where you can get away with short sleeve. So I thought, fine, I'll just mainly wear long sleeve. Got to summer, realised I mostly have about 3 short sleeve jerseys. That's it. So I kind of played myself in summer as well, and it came quite challenging. So no, we moved into this house. When did I get married? I got married on 24th October. Moved into this house on the 21st of July. So a bit of since we spoke on the podcast, not really. The challenges as well that I've been commuting in, and commuting in is fine, but it's actually pitch black until you get to Esher from Ripley. So you have to go up the rollers through the back end. And when it starts, and I normally leave here at 6 o'clock in the morning, get in at about 7:30, 7:45. When it's not getting light until 7:45,
it's not fun.
Mrs. McDonald Allen says no to that. So yeah, I'm not doing it. How about you? Did you cycled this summer?
I've cycled up until I went on holiday in September, and then I have not cycled in about 6 weeks. Well, I've gone to Trash Coffee Laps, see John and Ben, but mostly have not really cycled since I come back from holiday. I think it's probably you go from 28 degrees in Italy every day, you come back and it's like 10 degrees and rain in England.
Didn't you also get
we'll get to that. I'll rewind on that. Don't worry. It's all, it was also I lost 2 kilograms on holiday from food poisoning, which was we ate some calamari. Well, it's either a salad or a calamari.
Dodgy prawn.
I feel like calamari probably has the bigger rep, as I was eating other salads in Italy and it was all fine. We went to Sorrento, Lake Garda, and Florence. Guess where we ordered this calamari?
Lake Garda. Lake Garda is on a lake. Sorrento is beachside, isn't it? Sorrento. Oh, you ordered it in Florence. You ordered it where they mainly do cured meats, didn't you? You ordered a seafood dish inland.
Yes. I don't want to throw my future wife under the bus here, but I wanted to get Vietnamese that night, and we wouldn't have.
Why the fuck are you eating Vietnamese food in Florence?
Because after like 10 days of eating Italian food is fucking too much. I'm not gonna
Did you get a Florentine steak? Did you at least get a massive Florentine steak, or one of those big fuck off sandwiches?
I don't eat beef, so no.
Oh, yeah, of course. Did you eat on those fuck off sandwiches?
No. I had some wild boar though, so that's all that matters.
Decent. That's all
right. So I ate a lot of pork, but I find like it gets a bit too much after a while. I was trying to do the whole fish salad, try and keep it light, keep it varied. But after I have about 2 pasta dishes in Italy and maybe 1 pizza, I'm like, I just want a curry. Or I want something else. I think this is the problem with living in London is every day you have something different. So when it's the same sort of kind of food, I kind of get a bit tired of it. I'm a slave to variety.
I guess what you're saying is that Florence needs Weatherspoons. I guess that's what you're saying, right?
Hey, everywhere needs a spoons. There was, but when we're in Sorrento, you could get some English food. But what do you think it is?
Bangers and mash.
Full English breakfast. Which I thought was for €7. I was like, I was like, if that's the culture that we're bringing over, I'm all right with it.
Thing is, what is really is, and we're getting tangential here, but like, what really is English food anyway, right? Like the best French food is in London. Let's be honest. But it's
It's a bit of
British
everything.
dishes: sausage and mash, curry. That's ours. Thank you very much. And maybe fish and chips. Leave a comment below on the YouTube of this video to tell us your favourite.
Getting all top jaw.
Top jaw.
No,
No
but anyway,
self noms, mate.
I'll bring it back.
Go on.
So cycling wise, I think I've just hammered Regents. I would ideally like to do like a couple, maybe like ideally it'd be like a couple times of Regents just for like keep the legs moving, and then at the weekends I'd like to do like at least 100k, if not more. But I never seem to have time at the weekends anymore. There's always something that I'm doing that is hindering my cycling.
Right.
like friendships.
Plus, also, I forgot to say in the life update, you've got new glasses, which makes you look like Adam Driver in House of Gucci.
Yeah, or Michele Ferrari from the Lance days.
Oh wow!
I saw a picture. They're kind of a bit. They're not quite aviator. They're kind of like the aviator style, which I thought was quite funny. I was like, it's we're in the era of bold glasses. That's what this decade.
That's what they told you. That's what they told you, Oliver Peoples, before you put your visa in. So it sounds like neither of us cycled.
No, I watched a lot of cycling. That was easier to do.
But maybe the true mark of cycling content creators is that you do not, in fact, ride your bike.
That is true. But they actually take pictures of themselves and video themselves, creating a FOMO where I just can't be bothered to do that.
I think it's about creating a vibe. Okay, they're not content creators; they're vibe enhancers.
Well, all right, okay. As a vibe enhancer, what are the we're going real tangent now. What is the scale of vibes? Because each one isn't the same, or are they all the same? Because surely everyone needs a unique selling point. So what vibes is
No, they're all the fucking same. They're all the same. I'm gonna get sorry. I know that we're a podcast, but it's typically about the journey. Okay, it's about woke up this morning, looked at my S-Works SL8, and I thought, I don't know if I want to go cycling in Girona today because, it's been really tough for me. But I looked at the S-Works and I thought, yeah, maybe I can do this. And I did it. And I got to the top of Rocco Corba or what the fuck. Who gives a shit? And now I'm really glad that I did. And I wouldn't be able to do it. Thanks, SL8. # my specialized. Done. That's it. It's in it. Long captions, little bit of vibey stuff. There's going to be typically 3 or 4 photos cycling. Not in the 3 grid format, but it's typically like off to the side, or what's it Cycling Fashion Week said? It's behind the coffee machine, through the front window to the cyclist outside the front door. It's that.
Oh.
And then the last photo of the carousel is what? It's just, I don't know, it's like a foot of a cat. Some fucking clip art or something. You did great. It's that.
Well, the Microsoft paperclip.
Clippy. I think someone who will remain nameless told us that story about that cycling influencer in Italy who, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I think it was
About Durez, yeah. I think we've told a story before, but we could tell it again, that there's a well-known cycling influencer for a well-known Italian bike brand who they went up to Durez to shoot videos and stuff like that, and they drove up to the hairpins, and when this person, our friend, said, "Oh, you thinking you want to go up Alpe d'Huez?" They were like, "No, fuck that. I'm not cycling up this hill. It's too hard." And then drove home. So yeah, but maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we haven't landed a brand deal yet. Oh, if anyone from Nimble wants to help out,
Need some shoes.
it's Cobbles and Coles. One word on Instagram. You can send us that. God, I got so I don't know why. I don't know people listen to this. So you were saying through the summer. I mean, the biggest thing that we've mainly talked about through this summer has been what? One phenom, essentially.
The one and only Jonas Vingegaard. And your hatred of him.
That wasn't even planned. Well workshopped. Picked up on that vibe, didn't you?
Cam doesn't love our fishmonger.
He fucking capitulated. He also
had 1.5 lungs. Well, he probably had 2 working lungs, but from that crash, as someone who's had pneumothorax, I know that their medicines are different to our medicines, but it's pretty impressive from Vingegaard.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but I also quite enjoy the Jumbo Visma shit talking from 2023, which is, we've won all 3 Grand Tours, we're the best, and then they went into the next season and won squat.
In fairness, everything was going to be down from that, wasn't it? Like if you win 3 Grand Tours with 3 different riders, you're never going to complete that again.
Did you see that thing on Eurosport that was like, if Poggy was a team, he'd be 9th in the UCI point score?
He would.
Mental. Did you watch Lombardy on Saturday?
I watched 20 minutes of that of the hill that he attacked on, and then I turned it off because I was like, I don't need to watch this anymore. As in, like, I'm like half. I was watching. What was I? I was watching Gogglebox with Christina instead, whilst I had it on my phone, and I'd look at it and be like, "Cool, the gap's going out. Cool." Like, as in, I watched the Olympic. I watched the Olympics, but I mean the World Champs, and I was just like, when he went, I was just like, no one was near him.
So I heard something about the World Champs ride. I heard that he was actually trying to make a gap and trying to tease out people like Remco.
Yeah.
And he turned around and no one followed him. And he was like, oh, okay. But there was a group up the road. So he was a bit like, if I attack, I'll see if Remco will follow on my wheel. And then we'll see if we could just blow up the group. And I think everybody was so on the limit that when he attacked, he turned around. And I think what happened was also he made that 1 minute gap on the peloton. I think the group was like 3 minutes up the road. And just maintained the same gap. So it was that initial acceleration. And then Group 2 syndrome took over and no one got anywhere.
I know. He's quite good at, I guess, getting this gap, and then Group 2 syndrome kind of goes in. None of them are actually that strong enough to bring him back anyway, but
Mark Hershey. Mark Hershey was.
I know. And then, but the thing is, when Enric Mas is in any group, I'm like, he doesn't work, and he's just like plummets anyone's chances. He's like the new Valverde. Valverde used to do that. Like in the first, in that Lombardy where Pog went to the line with, was it Bagoli? No, or Mastada. I can't remember which Italian quickstep person he went to the line with.
Sure. What's that, 2001?
2002?
21.
No, 20 or 22. One of those ones.
He's won 4 in a row, so it's 2020, right?
Yeah, because the first one was... No, don't worry. He didn't win that one. Roglic won that one. When Alaphilippe chopped everyone. That's 2020, right?
Is that when he went to the back on a motorbike?
No, in Lombardy, where Alaphilippe went from if you're looking at it from the left-hand barrier to the right-hand barrier, went across everyone, put his hands up, and then Roglic came in and pipped him.
Oh yeah. What was it when Alaphilippe rode into the back of a motorbike?
Was that Flanders with Van der Poel and Walt?
Yeah, it was. Fucking hell, man.
which was just unlucky. That was good. That was good watching the three of them battle it out.
That's what happened. Like, he turned around, Remco didn't go, Mathieu van der Poel didn't go, and he just maintained the same gap.
Yeah,
Okay with
but it
that.
was clear that it was quite a hard course, and that Remco was in his, like, I guess, Olympic shape, because he just couldn't create. Him and Van der Poel couldn't really create a gap.
So I have a question for you. Maybe like, there's a few people listening to this podcast I know that aren't into racing too much, but
Yeah.
I think I'll ask you this question because you know way more on the racing side than people might actually know or might think. So do you think, so last couple of courses we've had is what? We had Switzerland. Last
Yep.
year was Glasgow.
Yep.
Year before that was Germany.
No, it was Wollongong, right? Was that Remco
Well,
Worlds?
yeah, that was Remco or Mathieu van der Poel Worlds, however you want to think about it.
Yeah.
One before that was
Imola?
Imola, right?
Because it was Alaphilippe too.
That was it. And so here's a question for you. And then it goes back to Sagan, right? He did the two, he did one in Switzerland again, and whatnot.
Yeah, there was. No, Sagan did
are
three,
we-
and then it went Valverde, right? He won Innsbruck.
Oh yeah, that's it. Innsbruck. Do you think we're going to ever get back to a time when it used to be sprinters that won it? People like Tuchelshoft, Cav. Cav was 2012, right? Do you think
I think there's a Saudi or Dubai one coming up
next year?
Next year's Rwanda. So that's Poggy double. There's no one there's like a massive. I don't actually know. I think the climb might be like 8%, 2 kilometers or something. But it's like 5,000 meters of climbing. So like realistically, who's going to win this? The best. Like it's a back-to-back thing. But it'll be insane crowds. I don't know what it is after that, but I think they kind of like the whole. It's really who the UCI want in a rainbow jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's like a puncture or a climber is more exciting than a sprinter.
I've just remembered something, and I need to tell you why I think there's credible rumours behind the Tom Pidcock Q3 6.5 rumours.
Is it because something to do with the Pinarello ownership?
We talked about this. I think we talked about this last week. Right. I gave people a little history lesson. So I think it's the CEO of Trafigura. They're a commodities company. Andrew's looking up now, I can see. So CEO of Trafigura, he has bought a few different companies recently. And this is an example of, I guess, my area of the world, the finance bit of cycling. So he bought Pinarello from Fausto Pinarello, the guy that owns that. And he also owns Q3 6.5. Now, from what I understand, part of Tom Pidcock's deal is that he also is paid by Pinarello, particularly Pinarello. Obviously, Ineos only have a road team, right? But Tom's stuff is mainly done on road. It's done on mountain biking. It's done on cross. So, sure. Tom winning on mountain bike is only really helping Pinarello. It doesn't really help Ineos because it doesn't count towards UCI points, which obviously everybody knows is the most important thing. So there's probably a lot of credence to the rumours of Q3 6.5. So he's either going to go one of two places, right? He's either going to go to Red Bull, Bora, whatever they're called now.
Yeah.
Is it Red Bull, Bora, Hansgrohe? Is that their name?
Yeah.
He's either going to go to Red Bull because of the helmet sponsorship. But obviously everybody's going like, oh, why the hell does he go to Q3 6.5? It's like, well, Pinarello pays his salary. So indirectly, the guy that owns the cycling team also pays a salary. So you go. He also's got. So that's why also on Q3 6.5, the sponsors are Breitling and UBS.
Yeah.
So they're all that kind of Swiss world. And that's actually why there's quite a bit of credence to that rumor.
Yeah, and I think their CEO might be a billionaire. So
he is. No, he is. Yeah, he's an absolute. He's a billionaire. Yeah, for sure.
Like something to do with mining from a quick Google.
Yeah, commodities, Trafigura, they're called. I think it's Trafigura.
So I'm sure at some point they'll be exploding onto the world tour.
Also, if anybody listening to this podcast is on the spoilers and slanders group chat, the Luke Rowe rumor called it. 6
Do you want to
weeks.
explain for it? Do you want to explain to anyone what any of that means in case they don't know?
Yeah. So 6 weeks ago, I know somebody told me something else and told me this, that Luke Rowe was going to RG Desert Citroën, or whatever they're called. Decathlon.
Decathlon.
Decathlon. Sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry, everyone. He's going to Decathlon. Now, obviously, it's a bit strange that somebody that's been road captain for Ineos for 12 years.
He's been at I was going to say the club, the team since he was like 18, and now he's the same age as me, so what, 34, 35?
So, yes, if you're on the group chat, called it. So
here's Cam's humble brag.
I'm not even being humble. I called it, mate. So something going on at Ineos. If anybody would like to come on, tell us what's going on there. We can put one of those voice things and blur your face like you're on Crime Stoppers.
Yeah,
because the
they're
people need to know.
Big transition of I don't really know what their strategy is if they lose Pidcock, because then it's
I mean, what the fuck has Pidcock really done anyway? Sorry, we were going to end this segment, but what the fuck has he actually done?
He wins one big race a year, and I think for like a team, well, it might not justify his salary, but I guess he wins Strada. That's like a modern monument. Last year, it was what?
When did he win Strada?
Was it last year? Did he have a big one this? Has he had a big win this year?
I thought it was Van der Poel last year.
He has won Strada Bianchi.
So the thing. Does he want to do mountain bike? Does he want to do cross?
Well, he said he wants to concentrate on road now.
Yeah, of course he does. They'd be like going on your appraisal and they're like, oh, I like doing this part of my job. It's like, well, that's not what we hired you for, really. And then, like, you get put on, what do you guys call it, a PIP, personal improvement plan? And they put you on a PIP and you go, oh, actually, do you know what? I think I really want to do this job now.
Yeah, his biggest results are in mountain bike. Oh, we won Amstel Gold, so that is a World Tour race. But most of it, I think because of Olympics, it's winning the Olympics gold.
The challenge is, like, don't get me wrong, it's like challenging, and I think this doesn't speak to Tom Pidcock, by the way, in actuality. Although, I don't think about it. It doesn't actually speak about Tom Pidcock. It talks more about Ineos' setup. Like, if you think about the other people in that space, which is who? Wout van Aert, Mathieu van der Poel, right? They're the three. Mathieu van der Poel does mountain biking too, but if you think about the cyclocross guys, all of those, which is Alpecin have had that set up when they were Continental Pro, not even World Tour.
Oh, what were they called when he won? I forgot what their old name used to be. Not that it matters. No, before then. Before Fenix. They were like, he won when he came on the Tour de Britain and he like absolutely smashed Trentin. And he won Amstel, was it? Yeah, Amstel Gold. Hang on, I'm going to have to look it up.
PCS. So, like, I don't think it's even a thing. It's not about thing about Tom. It's a thing about Ineos. Like, they don't even have
Correndo Circus. There we go. Got it.
They don't even have a women's team. They're the team probably with the budget. It probably goes what? UAE.
They got the same budget as Jumbo. Well, from was it Velo video, they estimated everyone's budget, and it goes UAE and then Jumbo and Ineos have the same budget, and then it's Trek, I think, or Bora,
Trek makes sense.
or maybe I think they're level with either Visma or Bora, but that's not with Red Bull money, I don't think. But they're like at least top 4 budget, if not top 3.
And like all these other teams have women's teams. They like Ineos don't even have a development team. They've got Axel Merckx's outfit, which kind of works as a proxy development squad. But
not all their riders go from there. So I wouldn't call that because
exactly right. It's a slight proxy one, but it's not the same one. So yeah, I genuinely think there's a lot of credence to that thing. Like you got to think like if he's getting his salary also paid by Pinarello and also owned by the same guy that owns the team, why would you not do it?
Scott might have well, I don't know what would Pinarello go to Q36.5 because they're on Scott's right now.
That's the thing as well. So Scott is also Swiss, as are BMCs, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's why they're on the Scott at the moment. But I mean, like, think about it logically. Like, if the guy that started your team also owned Pinarello, why would you not make that work?
Unless he's just going to buy up another bike like Scott. Just buy them.
Thing is, the other challenge about it is, look at Ineos's jersey. Who's the only sponsor in there apart from Ineos? It's Pinarello.
And Shimano, I think. Are they a Shimano team? I can't remember.
They are a Shimano team, but I don't think that it's on the jersey.
Not a sponsored one.
So the only sponsors on there are Pinarello and Ineos. And Gobic, who made the kit. Yeah, pretty sure about that.
I guess it's it is Ineos, Pinarello, Gobic.
Cycling economics with me. Tune in next week and bring your notepad for sure.
Yeah. We also forgot to talk about national kits. Why are they so they're so odd, aren't they? This is like watching the worlds. They're just so odd. Because I guess it's just I don't know. I don't know if any of them are nice or not because it's kind of like they have to have their team sponsor on them, but they also have to be like the country, and it just seems like we're in that weird halfway house. That is good.
I think you're right. Because it's like I see they're dead keen to keep their country's colours, but you would have thought that there's a way to like I see. The New Zealand one is black and silver, and I mean, there's not a lot you can do with that, but it was still just a bit shit. Like, do you know what the national team kit? I always think it looks like knockoff kit.
I know what you mean because I don't know what other sport it would be like. I play for Man United. And now I'm playing for England, but the Man United badge is on my shorts as well as like the England badge. It kind of makes no sense. Of like, why can't they just all just ride for their country and the country has its own sponsor? Like,
also, I think UAE Emirates lent a team bus to Slovenia to use.
Yeah.
So they're all in the UAE cars.
Like all the team buses were there, but I don't know who's like. If you're from like Latvia, like Tom Skuren, do they just have like a minibus? Because there's only like 3 Latvian guys there.
So yeah, I think it. So like the example of that was the Slovenian guys, right? So you got Poggi and Roglic, and there's a few other guys as well, but they're the 2 main ones. I think depending on who your big guy is, I think it's kind of shared around. So UAE were like, here's the big bus, Poggi's on it. If you think about the team, again, this goes back to what we were talking about before about the economics of cycling. It's massively in Pinarello's interest, in Colnago's interest, and all of the UAE sponsors. It's massively in their interest for Poggi to win.
Yeah.
If you can have him win world champ, like a few of the advertisers on jersey, one of them's Fab, which is First Abu Dhabi Bank, who actually a client of mine. That's why I recognise their logo all the time. But you got to think like, if he wins the World Championship, he's worth so much more to your sponsors. Like, you could go to DMT who make his shoes, or like DMT, for example, or Met, or Colnago, or anyone can say, here's the Poggy Special Edition World Championship bike. And they will fucking sell them. So if I was UAE, I'd be like, do you know what? You guys want to use the fucking party bus? You crack on. You want ships? Fucking, we'll fly them in.
Talking of special editions, when we were at chat, there's a guy in Regent's Park who's wearing like the UAE pink jersey, like all pink jersey of like Poggy's win jersey. But he had like, I think he had the matching shorts. So it's like pink top, pink shorts, like a Scott or something like that. But then he's like found some pink socks, but they're like the spats kind of fluoro pink ones, so they're not the same pink. And Ben was saying that, as you know, trash wear pink, he tells the riders just because it's pink doesn't mean it goes. So
this is true.
So white socks.
Always
white socks, unless you have the same shade pink socks, you can't wear it.
No.
Well, I don't think you should be wearing like. I know we're all for like wearing pro kit because it's kind of for a bit of fun, but like I feel like that's a bit too far. As in maybe black shorts with the pink.
If anyone from the Japanese team, I think they're called JCO UCL or something, listens to this on No Sonar team, can you send us a DM on Instagram, please? Because they have so many sponsors and they do an incredible skin suit. And I've sent them a DM in English and in Japanese. No one's got back to me.
You need to find like a youth rider. They have a youth development team. Find one of the riders. Find the marketing manager.
Yeah, I'll find one. The thing is, I was looking at it and they're like, they only ship to Japan. Apparently what you can do is there's services that you send it to somebody in Japan and then the person in Japan then ships it to you.
That sounds very different. Sounds like a very good service.
Yeah, so I might have to do that, you know. But yeah, the national team kit, man, like it must be. You must feel really proud to put it on, but at the same time, this must go back to also other black professional cyclists. You know that a few of them are like, it's not all great because it's not like you get to pick what you want. You can't pick the bike you want and the helmet.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody wears Oakley. Some people wear like Rudy Projects. I don't know. Other brands are available, but it must be like that as well, right?
Yeah, I guess I heard that some pros don't go to some teams for like what kit they wear and what bike they ride. So it does come down to that. Yeah. So, you know, I think you have to sell the package, as they say on the Nero show.
Do you think, or maybe we should speak to Russ. Russ is going to be at Roulette, so maybe we speak to Russ about this. But do you think some riders are on bikes and they're like, this is shit. I know this is shit. Rides like a bag of spanners.
Well, Guy Martin and that looked bike was shit because it was like half a kilo heavier, which I think he does have a fair point because you're like the top.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
No, as in, like,
no, he doesn't.
In the whole grand scheme, in the grand scheme of things, when you're like the top 1%, stuff like that matters. If it's between like us, it doesn't matter because we should just train more.
I think you can go to a former episode about where we argued about this, but I'm going to explain it this way. A 250ml bottle weighs about 30 grams. 250ml of water is 250 grams plus mix, call it 30 grams. What's that, 330 grams? He had 2 bottles on his bike. He's talking shit. Bollocks. The transponder, the radio transponder underneath the seat, 200 grams. Like crap. He just didn't have the legs.
Well, obviously.
What's the key?
I've watched Guy Martin for like 8 years. I know what he does. Like, he gets in a break. He gets caught. He gets in a break. He might get more time. Blows up the next day because he spent all his like energy in the break. It's kind of it's quite poetic.
Always blames his tools, isn't it?
Yeah. But looking at how Cofidis ride this year, those tools aren't that great. If you believe in that. Believe in that if the bike doesn't it bike wheel tire setup.
If you speak to Hambini, they're the best made.
I don't think any of the pros care how it's made. They just want it fast. Like I haven't bought this. Like, but as if for us, we would buy a look because it is well made. just like how a felt is well made.
Let's head to a break. I'm not getting into this shit again. We've had a break. I'm not getting into this shit again.
We haven't talked gravels.
Oh.
We haven't talked gravel wells. We unbreak to talk because like all the like I watched. Just because it's
I'm not talking about gravel. No, I'm not talking about gravel wells.
No, I'm not going to actually talk
it's
about
a ride. It's going to no. It's a ride in Surrey because the roads are exactly the same.
No, I'm going to say because we're talking about national kits. All of the people who rode it, who weren't like fully like Van der Poel level pro, also had to wear national kit. But their kit, because I only know that. Like, have you not seen all the YouTube videos on it?
No.
Like I've seen it, and all the British guys.
Walk me through it.
As in, like,
hang on. Is this a bit like if you get invited to the Grand Fondo Worlds and you wear the national kit, even though there's 400 British riders wearing national kit? Because I do not agree.
It's like that. It's like that. But so like I saw all the YouTubers. They all and like not all of them are YouTubers as well, but like all the British people.
They all live in Girona.
We're all wearing like the British national kit, apart from like how like Connor Swift has all the like the actual elite professionals have the Shell logo on the sleeves. All of like I guess the amateur people don't have the Shell logo on their sleeves. So really boring story.
I'm sorry,
but I found it odd that everyone's in their own national kit.
I guess we've got friends that have done the Worlds. We've got good friends of ours have done it. We know lots of people listen to this podcast. Mm-hmm. The wearing the national kit to the Grand Fondo Worlds. I don't know if I can get behind that. I don't know if I can get behind whilst you might be representing, and I say represent people who are listening, free headphones. I say representing with speech marks. You're kind of not. Like,
I guess it's like
you're not gonna get a fucking post box painted gold in your village if you win the Grand Fondo Worlds, are you?
Well, I guess it's like we have the elite race, and then everything else is age capped, right? So you'd win your age group.
I mean, here's
guess
the thing: you can't enter the amateur competition if you have UCI points, and you can because I was looking, because I'm doing the one in. God, this is such a fucking type A finance thing. I'm doing the Grand Fondo in Luxembourg. Andy Schleck. I'm doing the Andy Schleck Fondo in Luxembourg.
Fine. Yeah. When's that?
It's in May, so I've got some time to, do it more than 100k a week. But yeah, I'm going to wear a skin suit for that. But I'm going to get one from a place maybe called SWAT Shop, SWATT Shop. They do quite cool ones. It looks a bit like the Trinity racing. Anyway, we're getting distracted yet again. You continue Grand Fondo World. I didn't watch it because last time Mathieu van der Poel won it on an air road.
He won it on an actual gravel bike this time, but
is that because Canyon paid him a fucking $100,000 to do it? Do you think?
Probably, or who knows why? But it looked like it was a nice paint job. It's all like, I guess, rainbowy, like that nice two-tone kind of paint. But apparently it was basically more technical than everyone thought, because it's like sprint out of corner, go over cobblestones. It's basically full-on Belgian racing. It was quite enjoyable to sort of vaguely watch. I didn't watch all of it, but kind of the bits I did watch, I enjoyed watching.
It sounds like a bit just like a really long kermesse.
Yeah, I think it was. It's just like over gravel, over cobblestones. Because I think it was about like 56. It said 56% of it was tarmac and the rest was all off road. But it was it looked like it was fast, just a fast ride. But there was like a break after like the first 10k, just because there was like a hairpin, everyone had to slow down, and the top 20 guys just sprinted out in the corner and created a gap.
Dude.
But I found it odd that there's like 8 Belgian people. There's like 8 Belgian riders, and then there's like one Dutch, one British, one Slovenian, one Danish, and you're like, how many Belgian guys are in this race? Like, I feel like they need to cap the nationalities so it's kind of a bit more mixed, but it seemed a bit odd.
Right. World champs. I'm not going to name this rider, but you know what I'm talking about. World Championships is levels, mate. Like, I don't know, people say, oh, it's levels. But you know who I'm talking about. People who are like big fish in small ponds. You know, they're like the best, I don't know, Kermesse racer in Belgium. And then you go to Worlds and you're getting dropped.
I definitely know I know who you're talking about now.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Very
Yeah. That was nice and cryptic, but we got there in the end. Like, I think that's the same way. And I think the gravel thing is a good representation of that as well, right? Like, you can be quick on gravel, or, you know, you can. Again, it's this influencer thing, right? I think a lot of it's that too. That's why I didn't watch the gravel thing, because a lot of it was like, yeah, I'm making gravel worlds, and it was about the journey to gravel worlds. I don't care for the fucking journey, care for the race.
You basically missed the old gravel vibes, spirit of gravel, and it all died, and you're upset, and that's why you're hating on it. You're lashing out at the people.
Like, big media made us change this cycling podcast. Big cycling's changing gravel. Anyway, we're heading to a break now. Enough of this crap.
Welcome back, everyone. We are into our final section of the show. Cam, as the man who slides into the people's DMs, what can we expect going forward?
Well,
we don't have to name guests, but you can elaborate on: are they bigger? Are they better? Are they the same? Is everyone the same status in our minds?
Yeah. So no, bigger and better. No. So two things really from us. So I mean, we're recording this mid-October, so this will come out whenever. But Ruler Live will be there actually on Saturday the 16th. Probably get there early-ish, right? I think we got there last night about 10 o'clock, 10, 11.
What time's it open? Opens at 10. I imagine we went at 11. We don't want to be the nerd.
I think we met.
We had a coffee.
We met a coffee at 10, didn't we? And then we went at 11. So we'll be at Ruler Live Saturday, probably about 11ish. We're going to mince about. We're going to talk to some people. If anybody I think Russ Downing's on the Pinner Relay stand. There's a few speakers on the day, so we'll be there. And then we'll likely go to the pub after. The pub is the one next to the church. I think it's Whitechapel Church, isn't it? It's one where the Jack the Ripper murdered one of his victims. Side note. What's the name of the pub? I think is it the Three Bells?
I have no idea.
It's the one. Anyway, it's the one
opposite Spitalfields. That's all you need to know.
Commercial Road opposite Spitalfields. People know exactly where it is. It's a good outside space and quite average beer, but it's fine. So we'll be there Saturday. Come and hang out. DMs are open. Cobbles and Coles. You can find us on there. If you've got any questions for us, any suggestions, or if you've got someone,
maybe you just want to have a pint with Cam.
Yeah, if you want to come, actually, you can go on our website. It's still spincyclepodcast.com. You can buy me a pint on there. In fact, you know, I think it's like 1,000. Anyway, let's not get to that again. But yeah, we'll be there. Guests this time around. Some interesting guests. I think you and I touched on it in the first section of this podcast, but we wanted to get a bit more vibey about what we're talking to people. We've kind of expanded the remit as well. So rather than it just being a bit of a London focused podcast, we're going global, as HSBC telling me to do. So we're going to do that. Going to get a few different people on. I'm in the DMs at the moment, so we're currently speaking to some pretty well respected people, and I think what we're going to do as well, because we figured out over the past year, right? This is kind of the inner workings of this podcast. What we're going to try and do is 3 weeks interviewing somebody, and then probably just a week of us. 3 weeks interviewing somebody else, right? So 3-1, so 4 week cycle. And I think we're going to block it out at seasons of 3 months. Take a month off because we need to book more guests, just constantly filling the hopper. So I think that's what we've got planned. Some really, really interesting guests. If people want to hang out, please do. You can join our WhatsApp group. We speak on there. And if not, we'll see you all face to face on Saturday the 16th at Relay Live. You and I, maybe. Well, I don't want to talk about this now. I was going, do you want to go for a pint next week? But yeah, we could talk about this when we finish this podcast recording.
No, I'm busy.
Very well.
I actually could be busy because I might be moving house next week, so I might have to frantically pack. So it might be a 2-weeker.
There you go. So if this podcast doesn't come out when people have deduced the timestamp, it's because NJ's moved house.
Well, as you can see, there's if you're watching this, there's a horrible mess. There's nothing on the shelves. There's boxes everywhere. There's no point in cleaning up. I want to give the illusion that this is how close to moving we are. So I'll be in a completely different room.
It looks like I'm on ship with Sean Connery.
You look like
Captain. We play a dangerous game of chess.
What's the captain called in Tintin?
I don't know. That was a Red October reference.
Characters.
Our greatest enemy, the American
Captain Haddock. There you go.
Captain
if we got you like a pipe and a sailor's hat, you'd look like Captain Haddock.
Very well. Keep sending us DMs and keep wearing your Pints and Pavy t-shirts. I like it when people send us DMs. It's really nice to see people enjoy it. But we will see you in a couple of weeks' time. We wanted to do this one just as a bit of an update, and we're going to start properly recording
sometime in November, I'd assume.
Yeah, probably a little bit before Rula, or a little bit after, but we'll see.
Yeah, don't expect consistency.
Yeah, the consistency will be. I think the consistency will start in December, in like late November. We're booking the guests now. It's just there's a whole thing. There's a
logistics.
So yes, but thank you all for listening, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on podcast platforms, Instagram, OnlyFans, wherever you consume this content. All right, bye from me.
Bye, everyone.